Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Today's Devar Torah is called MISHPATIM, or judgments, that is found in Exodus chapter 21 from verse 1 to chapter 24 verse 18. And we'll start by a word of prayer. Our Father and our God, we come before you this afternoon. We thank you for the gift of life that you have given unto us. We magnify and glorify your holy name, Lord. Thank you for giving me this time, Lord, to share your word. I pray that whatever I will speak, Lord, may it be a blessing to every person who will listen and hear these words. And I pray this shortly, trusting and believing in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. So my commentary comes from Exodus chapter 24, from verse 3 to verse 8. Exodus 24, verse 3 to 8. And I read, Moshe came and told the people everything Adonai had said, including all the rulings. The people answered with one voice, "We will obey every word Adonai has spoken." Moshe wrote down all the words of Adonai. He rose early in the morning, built an altar at the base of the mountain, and set upright 12 large stones to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. He sent the young men of the people of Israel to offer burnt offering and sacrifice peace offering of oxen to Adonai. Moshe took half of the blood and put it in basins. The other half of the blood he splashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it aloud, so that the people could hear. And they responded, "Everything that Adonai has spoken, we will do and obey." Moshe took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant which Adonai has made with you, in accordance with all these words." This passage describes the Sinai Covenant, when Israel pledges obedience to Adonai, to Adonai's command, and Moses seals the covenant with the blood of sacrifices. From a Messianic perspective, this movement foreshadows the new covenant in Yeshua, in which his own blood brings atonement and eternal relationship with God. The people declare, "We will do and we will hear." This shows faith in action. They commit to obey, and they commit to obedience even before fully understanding the commandments. True faith is expressed through obedience to God's will, as we can see in James chapter 2, verse 17. James chapter 2, verse 17, which says, "Faith without actions is dead." Yeshua continues teaching us that true discipleship requires obedience in John 14, verse 15. John 14, verse 15, which says, "If you love me, keep my commandments." As I continue, Moses builds an altar and set up 12 stones, symbolizing the unity of 12 tribes of Israel before God. This prefigures the 12 disciples whom Yeshua appoints to bring the message of the kingdom. And these 12 disciples are found in Matthew chapter 10 from verse 1 to 14. Just as Moses establishes Israel's covenant through sacrifice, Yeshua establishes the new covenant through his ultimate sacrifice. And we can read Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15, and see what it says. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15. It is because of his death that he is mediator of new covenant. Because death has occurred, which set people free from the transgressions committed under the first covenant, those who have been called may receive the promised eternal inheritance. The 12 tribes and the 12 disciples point to the future restoration of Israel and the nations under Messiah. And we can read in Revelation 21 from verse 12 to 14. Revelation 21 from verse 12 to 14. It had a great high wall with 12 gates. At the gate were 12 angels, and inscribed on the gates were the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 13. There were 3 gates to the east, 3 gates to the north, 3 gates to the south, and 3 gates to the west. The wall of the city was built on 12 foundation stones, and on this were the 12 names of the 12 emissaries of the Lamb. As I continue, in Exodus chapter 24, verse 6 to 8, the one that I have read, we can see Moses sprinkles the blood on the altar and the people sealing the covenant. This is the blood of the covenant which Adonai had made with you. That is Exodus 24, verse 8. Yeshua quote this exact phrase at the Last Supper that is found in Matthew 26, verse 8. Matthew 26, verse 8, which says, this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. Unlike Sinai Covenant, which requires repeated sacrifice, Yeshua's sacrifice is once for all. And I will read Hebrews chapter 9 from verse 12 to 14 and see what it is about Yeshua's sacrifice being one for all. He entered the holiest place once and for all, and he entered not by means of the blood of goats and calves, but by the means of his own blood, thus setting people free forever. For if sprinkling ceremonially unclean person with the blood of goat and bulls, and the ashes of heifer restores their outward purity, then how much more the blood of Messiah, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself to God as a sacrifice without blemish, will purify our conscience from work that led to death, so that we can serve the living God. The Sinai Covenant was a foreshadowing of the great covenant Yeshua would establish. Through his blood, we are not just obligated to follow God's way, but empowered to do so by his Spirit, as Prophet Ezekiel wrote in Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 27. Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 27. I will put my spirit inside you and cause you to live by my laws, respect my rulings, and obey them. As I conclude, the Sinai Covenant reveals God's heart for justice, mercy, and covenant relationship. For us, Messianic believers, it points to Yeshua as a manifestation of the Torah teaching fulfilling and enabling us to walk in righteousness and through spirit. Baruch Hashem.